If you think the UK economy is tight right now, get ready, because things might get a little bit more sticky. So inflation, interest rates, they're holding high, they're holding for longer. And there's more economic pressure coming, for sure. And it's coming in many different forms. So we've got the rising cost of everything, we've got these trade tensions that we're facing right now, and rising costs generally to the consumer is a trend, and it's slowing down growth. So whether you're a consumer or even an investor, or if you're just trying to make some money moves, this video breaks it down in plain English. So let's get into it. So inflation and what the Bank of England really cares about, okay? So let's start with inflation, because it's been hammering the people, it's been hammering the UK households over the past few years. While it's come down from the highs of 2022, core inflation is still well above the Bank of England's target of 2%, hovering around that 4.5% last we checked. What's core inflation? So core inflation singles out energy and food pricing, okay, which tends to bounce around in the economy. So when that number stays stubbornly high, it tells the Bank of England, we're not done yet. We've got room to go. There's more to do. That's why the base interest rate has stayed very high, okay? And why rate cuts aren't coming down anytime soon. So here's what most people miss, is that cutting rates, it sounds good. It makes sense. Of course, we want lower rates. Your lower mortgage rates, making loans cheaper for people, getting access to money, making it cheaper for people to start lending money. It boosts spending, but that increased spending can spike demand at a time when supply is still struggling itself, okay? So especially with ongoing global tensions, these tariffs, even going back to Brexit, all those related frictions, okay? That demand pushes prices up. And who feels that price? The consumer. Even though some are calling the Bank of England to lower those rates to support that growth in this country, they can't really do that if inflation numbers stays elevated. Now here's the curveball, okay? Because we're not just talking about the classic tariffs in the same way over the pond with the US and China are. The UK is still dealing with a trade-related inflation pressure. Cross-border friction with the EU has increased the cost of pretty much everything over the time. So that's effectively a tariff-like inflation layer. Import costs are getting way higher. Transportation, logistics, they're clunky at best. And your energy imports, we still don't have and facilitate our own energy. So everything's still volatile. And this all puts pressure on business costs, okay? And eventually that trickles down and funnels to the end consumer. So any man and their dog can see that the UK is very stagnant. Growth is pretty much non-existent in this country. So let's talk about the growth, or the lack of it. So UK economy, we've been flirting with a recession for a while, especially at the end of 2023. GDP growth is weak, okay? And we spoke about GDP in the last video. Consumer confidence is very shaky. The people don't have the passion for the economy. They haven't got that trust in it. And we need trust, okay? Because trust stimulates economy and it stimulates spending. The job market is a huge question mark, but cracks are forming. We've seen mass layoffs in this country, things in retail, to finance, even public sector, where you mainly see it. There's huge cutbacks everywhere. Businesses are under pressure. But when business costs rise and wages start to freeze, that's when jobs start getting cut, because business owners have a decision to make. They start to survive or they try to thrive. So the main premise of this video is, what can you actually do? What power do you have, whether you're on the consumer side or the investor side? So as a consumer, now, the time to stock up on everyday essentials is now. You know, especially while prices are quite flat, they're pretty steady. You know, think about non-perishables. Think about, you know, your hygiene products, your household goods. But I would suggest, if you haven't already, is building up that emergency fund. And I mean in the form of some cash on the side where you can. You know, may it be 500 to £1,000. Have that on the sideline, have that saved, have that as your cushion, your financial cushion, to provide that little bit of breathing room. Because we all need that breathing room, knowing that you've got that little bit of security if there was a economic issue that lands on your lap. You know you've got that bit of breathing room. Start reevaluating your expenses. I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money, but maybe cut back on the non-essentials. And, you know, seriously look to learn new skills. Whether you like it or not, the world's moving at a very fast pace. I'm not saying you need to start programming and coding computers, but start utilizing what's out there. Learn a new skill, because the skills that were once essential when we were growing up, they're becoming less and less valuable in the marketplace today. So learning a new skill is not really an option anymore. It's very critical that we do that to be a part of the growing economy and marketplace that's happening right in front of us. The job market is shifting very quickly. It's the tectonic plates under our feet, they're shifting in real time. And if we're not a part of that, we do get left behind, whether you like it or not. Now, on the flip side of that coin is investors. So first thing is, keep investing in times like this, especially in downturns that we're facing. Whether it's through your stocks, whether it's through your ISAs, your Roths, your IRAs, whether it's your private pensions, or just your individual portfolios. Keep cost averaging into low cost index funds. That is a key in times like this. So when the market dips, it's a great time to acquire great assets at a great price. Most people see crisis, they see the headlines, and they run away. They run the other direction when they see red, when they see blood in the markets. And it's strange, because the stock market is the only place that when we see a sale, most people don't go. So it's important that you turn up for that sale. Where you can, invest heavy, double down, and keep acquiring assets, because over time, that will be your net worth multiplier. So start looking into stocks where you can start playing defense. This season isn't about offense. A great defense can win championships. So start looking into cyclical sectors as well at the moment. Look where the market's moving. Start looking maybe into your retail, your consumer retail companies, your Costco's. Start looking at your waste managements, you know, maybe into healthcare, your Novo Nordisks. Start looking at things where it's non-negotiable for people to keep going to these places. You know, whether you like it or not, the world needs food. It's going to still need its soap. It's still going to need its medicine, even if we're in downturns. So start thinking that way like an investor. And don't forget to diversify. It's crucial. I know we keep hearing it. And they say the age-old saying of diversification is for the man who doesn't know what they're doing. But I think that's an oversimplification. When we say diversify, we need to not chase every hot stock, especially the things we see on social media. You know, they're popping up to us, the algorithms feeding us things, and by the time the news has reached us, the move's already missed. So don't hop on the next crypto buzz, you know. That's not diversification. Start building that long-term portfolio and thinking about which direction the world's moving. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and go against the grain and be a contrarian. You can just invest in what's working. The things that are non-negotiable for people to continue their lives every single day. There's many of them out there. You don't need them all. This isn't Pokemon. I'm just saying that you can diversify and put and spread some of your eggs around to create a whole basket so that your portfolio can actually weather the volatility that we're facing in these uncertain times. So look, we can't control inflation or even interest rates to a degree, but you can control your response, how you react to it, or how you utilize it more so. So whether things get worse or not, you're not powerless. You have options, you have abilities at your disposal to navigate these uncertain times. The reality is no one's coming to save you. The best person to take care of the future you is you watching this video right now. So what I would say is get in position, get ready, because the game's already started. You've still got time. The shot clock's still going. Stay the course, navigate these uncertain times, make great decisions, and you'll come out on top. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button and share it out with someone that you may think needs to hear this. But more importantly, I want to hear from you. Drop me a comment below so we can keep this conversation going. Till next time, see you in that next video.